Hi, I'm Staley with the Catamaran Company in Fort Lauderdale. This is the 2017 Lagoon 450 Annie. It's in very good condition. We've just done a big price reduction on it and really ready to sell this boat. We've got two quite strong stainless steel davits. I've seen people put dinghies as big as 12 feet here on the back of a Lagoon 450. There's a set of davit lines that runs through here, goes to these turning blocks, goes to this winch, makes it quite easy to raise. And normally the bow of the dinghy you can pull up by hand, but maybe the transom, if you have a big outboard, the winch is quite useful, but it's very easy to get up and down. We've got hooks here for a life ring. You can see there's a recessed space here for a life raft. Makes it quite easy to deploy with fittings that attach here. The engine compartments are aft, so they're in these two compartments. The engines look like they're new. I'll show you some videos of those a little bit later. Got fittings here for the emergency tiller that fits down on the top of the rudder post. You got fittings here for jack lines or for a turning block for a code 0 that would lead up to the helm. I always get asked about this wood here. It's actually plastic. It's a synthetic material. It doesn't need any maintenance, even has end grain on it. Looks really good. I'm going to go up on the fly. I'm going to show you one feature from the helm that's really unique about the 450. It's the only cat I know that has this this feature that allows the helmsman to see the transom here, and I'll show you how that works. So with this hatch open on the back bimini hardtop there, does two things. One, it gives you a very nice airflow into the cockpit when the boat's anchored. The coach roof is going to block a lot of the wind. That hatch right there pumps a ton of breeze through the cockpit and keeps it cool. And also when you're driving the boat in reverse, I can see through there and I can see the transom perfectly on the boat. I can also look through this side. I can see the transom there. See both my bows. So a lot of people talk about, you kind of lose visibility. Some of the bigger cats have video cameras that aim at the transoms. On the 450, you actually don't need it because from here, you can see where you're backing into. See, you can see me, I can see the transom perfectly. Really easy boat to shorthand and maneuver. All right, we're on the FLYBRIDGE. Obviously you can see great visibility forward. At the helm station here, you've got plenty of space if you want to add a chart plotter or radar display. Here you've got the B&G sailing and autopilot overlay. And then you've got a load of functions with tides, wind, speed, depth, autopilot. This is the autopilot control. This is the remote dock for the VHF, wireless handheld. Engine controls, 2-speed electric 60. Harken winch, high and low speed. This is the winch for the main sheet, furling line, and traveler controls. They're all LED here. Once again, easy for the helmsman to shorthand sail. Your throttle's here, main halyard winch and Genoa winch there. And then you've got another set of winches on that side for the port side, Genoa, and then some reef lines. Got a 12-volt power outlet. Speakers up here on the fly. These are nice areas to put like books, sunscreen, maybe some towels, that sort of thing. That hatch I was showing you earlier, you can see right down to the back of the boat on the port transom and also creates that airflow. Very low engine hours, 2,800 hours on each engine. So the left of the mainsail, this is the part I typically look at on a boat to determine the condition of the sails. You can see these are quite crisp. They're all very white. There's no chafe or wear, even at the head of the sail. The batten pockets are all in good condition. The webbing's fine. There's no stitches coming out or wear. The leather on the wear points here, like on the reef points, are all in good condition. The Dacron's crispy, sail's in good shape, and so is the sail cover. You can see there's minimal wear on any of the components here. Boat show's in great shape. Our team's removed the sail on Annie for summer storage, but I want to point out, this is the Genoa, It's in really great condition. You can see how good all the threads are. There's no wear on it. This is the tack. You can see the bolt ropes good going up the furling foil, but the sail's in excellent shape. In Annie's cockpit, we have a composite table. This is super durable. It's got the same 9 skid that you see around the cockpit. The trash receptacle here with a can that comes out on the side. This is very nice because it takes that space that normally you'd want to use for a cabinet in the galley out, and any waste is stored outside of the boat. And with the door open from the galley, you can put things directly here, but it's very nice when you're typically dining or going in and out of the cockpit space frequently. This is a storage compartment. There's a drain in the bottom, so it could be used as a built-in cooler. A lot of times people will put sunscreen and things that they're using frequently while sailing there. Propane locker in this space. Overhead, this locker is designed to store that table when it's not used. Sometimes when people are doing long passages, they prefer to have this area open, so that table lifts up. There's recessed cushions in the deck that the legs come out of. The legs fit here with these straps going over them, and the table fits into this space and then is concealed in the ceiling of the FLYBRIDGE. 2 cockpit speakers, LED lights throughout this space. There's room here if you'd like to put in an ice maker, and there's room here if you'd like to put in a fridge. That's what those spaces are designed for. Nice counter spot if you want to do your meal prep outside, barbecue on the back, make drinks, set up a wet bar. Annie does not have an enclosure, but it's possible to have this full cockpit area enclosed along with the FLYBRIDGE. Annie has a retractable canvas FLYBRIDGE. It's in great shape. This is a portside engine compartment. So this hatch opens up from the aft deck. There's a watertight bulkhead between the rest of the boat and the engine compartments on the Lagoon 450. There's also a lot of soundproofing, and these engines are very, very quiet. When they're at idle, you can barely hear them. The configuration with the insulation being in the aft compartment really keeps them quiet. It also isolates them from the rest of the boat from diesel smells, heat, and also if you're ever to have a flood in the engine compartment, it's sealed off from the rest of the boat. The engine compartment is finished very nicely. You can see the engine's in great condition. Very, very little evidence of any use or corrosion on it. And then these go down over the top and allow you to store items on top of the engine, so that makes it a very useful storage area. So the forward cockpit on the Lagoon 450 is a very nice recessed seating space. There's storage in this locker that's very deep. Huge, huge storage locker here. There's a remote for the anchor windlass, and sometimes people like to add one up at the helm. Anchor windlass is a quick, it's in good shape. This is access to the anchor chain. You've got a very adequate drainage system in this forward cockpit area. The space is really nice with a set of lounge cushions. Under this compartment is the generator. I'll show this to you in detail. All right, so this Onan generator has 2,500 hours on it. Typically these are good for around 20,000, so it's barely into a tenth of its lifespan. Really easy to service. You've got a battery for the gen here, seawater strainer, fuel filter, battery switches on and off, and then this allows you to switch between drawing from the starboard tank or the port tank. There's a valve back there that allows you to do that. Really good system. These Onans are great quality. We've had excellent luck with them, and it certainly has a lot of life left in it. On the bows on Annie, these are storage compartments. Some of the boats are configured from the factory with bow heads and bow cabins. This one is just storage space, so there's a partition halfway through. So you can store things below it and also on top of it. But easy to access, great place to store sails, lines, fenders, anything that you're not going to be using all the time. I've had people outfit these as like dive lockers. We'll have a dive compressor and scuba gear. I've also had guys configure this with a workshop where they'll put a bench and a lot of storage, maybe a vise. And then also I've had people set it up for like spearfishing and fishing, where they'll store their rods and pole spears in this area. The trampoline's in good condition. This is the newer style Lagoon tramps, so it's knotless, so these are smooth on your feet, very comfortable. This is the fitting here where the washdown fits. There's a hose that fits into this compartment, plugs into that fitting, and allows you to wash down your anchor or deck with either salt water or fresh water. There's a selector valve in that locker that switches between the two. When we come up here, I'm going to point something out that I think's important that you should know about the Lagoon 450 that's incorporated into the hull design. So I'm often asked about the value of purchasing a newer design and built catamaran. And one of the things that I like to underscore is it's very difficult to change the design of a boat or feasibly. So when you're buying a newer, later model boat, later model design features add a tremendous amount of value. And this is a great example of it. So you can see here on this Lagoon 450, you have a nacelle that comes down from the bridge deck. So a lot of older cats will have a flat surface on the bridge deck. That nacelle creates a gull wing shape, and that shape continues all the way down the bridge deck on the boat. That does a couple things for you. One, this shape is like a piece of I-beam steel. It's torsionally strong. It's much stronger than a flat piece. Also, as wave energy and offshore sailing conditions come up and make contact with the bridge deck, that nacelle disperses that wave energy so it's not felt on the boat. And that is all the way down the back of the boat, so you can get that gull wing shape all the way towards the transom. Also, the way the boat's designed, there's a lot of volume up forward. You can see in these bow compartments, that prevents it from hobby horsing offshore, and that prevents the thing that a lot of people ask me about with bridge deck pounding. So this is a great way to minimize it. Also, the Lagoon 450 is built with resin infusion construction. What that means is that under a vacuum, the layup's dry and resin gets sucked into it, and excess resin gets sucked out of the layup. What that does for you is it uses 30% less resin in the layup as opposed to hand-laid construction. So it makes it very strong, keeps weight down, and it also eliminates air bubbles and air voids in the layup. So it's a super strong layup that's very efficiently done and also very easy to quality control at the manufacturing level. And that's part of the value of buying a later model designed and built cat like this. Not only I showed you the interior is beautiful, it's nicely finished. Lagoon uses an Italian design group called Nada that's done all this design work. So you see those nice shelves, the heavy duty hardware, the recessed lighting, just beautifully done. I'm Staley Weidman with the Catamaran Company in Fort Lauderdale. If you'd like to come see Annie, please give me a call or send me an email and we'll set up an appointment.